Good afternoon. This is Dominic with TheBackVlog. A few days ago, my fiance and I finished the anime Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga, which is something that we heard from a panel at Otakon 2 years ago. It was like an animal lovers panel or something. This was my choice of show, and I wasn't as big of a fan of it as I thought I was gonna be, which is a shame. I really like samurai stuff, and obviously I really like dogs because my dog is right here and she's chewing on her rope. But I think because I'm not historically well learned on Japanese history, I think I didn't get as much appreciation out of this show as the creators were intending. I think it's kind of like if a Japanese person were to watch the same concept, but it was reincarnations of like Abraham Lincoln or George Washington or Lee Harvey Oswald. I don't think that would translate as well, because we as Americans know who George Washington and Abraham Lincoln is, but I don't even know who Japanese current prime minister is, or Japan's current prime minister. And I was going to say I wouldn't expect Japanese people to know who our president is, but I feel like everybody knows who that is. But I doubt they knew who George Bush was. Shout out to my Ghost Stories video. But yeah, I think it's just, I would like to watch this show again at some point after educating myself a little bit on the history of it. But I also felt like the way that this show was structured, it was kind of like comedic vignettes, and there's nothing really wrong with that. Like, we watched a long time ago, we watched Bungo Stray Dogs 1, which is like a chibi version of Bungo Stray Dogs. And like, you got these like basically these short little 2 or 3 minute long like skits basically, and that's like, you'd have a few of those to make up a 20-minute episode. But I feel like in this show it was like really repetitive, a lot of the bits that they do. I found myself by episode 4 kind of like looking forward to the end of the show, and it's like a short 12 episode anime, but like it felt like it drags a lot. They also like keep repeating the same like jokes and stuff, like the same ideas, and to me it feels like this show was designed for somebody in Japan, like basically channel surfing and coming across this show, because it recaps itself. It recaps the premise that Oda Nobunaga, through some twisted sort of fate, was reincarnated into a dog. And like the way that it's like worded like that every single episode. And that's not the only thing that is like worded like super specifically. And I don't know, it just feels like that it wasn't meant to be a show, or it wasn't a show meant to be watched front to back. It was a show designed to get an audience's attention for a 20-minute time slot on syndicated Japanese television. I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of this show. There were some moments that I thought were pretty funny. And it's cute, and I love the little dog sections at the end, the post-credit dog scenes. I think the opening is really catchy. It's not my kind of music, and the closing is also really catchy, and it's also not my kind of music, but I love that song because it's really funny. That's Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga. It's worth it if you are historically educated. I don't know how worth it is if you just like dogs, because that's where I was. Like, I just like dogs, and I also really like samurai stuff, but there's a lot of history jokes in this that were like way over my head, because I wasn't educated enough to know about the lives of these Japanese warlords. So I think if you're gonna watch this show, educate yourself a little bit first, and hopefully you'll appreciate more than I did. Right, Robin? Are you Oda Nobunaga? Are you Oda Nobunaga? Are you Lee Harvey Oswald? My dog is not Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.